Well, good morning, my friend. Welcome to the Pastor's Podcast. Good to have you with me this morning as we are on Thursday morning, 2 more days in the work week. Been a shorter week here in Oklahoma City today. We are getting some rain, just to say it in a kind way. It is pouring down outside. And so those in the area, you be careful as you drive down the roads, that God will keep you safe. And you drive safely. Drive a little bit slower if you have to. Let's be safe. And of course, this morning, I'm hoping the rain slows down. We got so many to it this morning at 10:30. We're going to go fishing for men, maybe more in a literal sense in this area, but it's certainly good to have you with me today. Now, this weekend, we're looking forward to a good weekend here at the church. Important service Sunday night and critical to our church. And I'm saying to the Maranatha Baptist Church members, you need to make sure you're here this Sunday night. Don't want to miss it. I promise you, critical to the future of our church, what God's going to, some things I'm going to be giving to the church this Sunday night. I want everybody in attendance. If you don't normally come, you need to make this the Sunday night that you come to church. Let's have a great service this coming Sunday morning and Sunday night, that God will allow us see souls saved and baptized. Well, today I want to talk about one word, reach. Now, it's going to be longer than that. I want to talk about reach. The scripture says in Philippians 3, verse 13, "Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind," here it is, "and reaching forth unto those things which are before." To reach means to stretch yourself beyond what you're capable or able to do. People often say that someone went beyond their reach. What they mean is that person who failed or succeeded went beyond their abilities to their success or failure. Now, nobody ever does anything great for God who doesn't reach, listen now, beyond their abilities. Now, Paul tells the believers, he says to reach forth. He admonishes them. He says, stop looking at your past and what you have done. And he says, look before you at what you need to do. That's what he was telling this church in Philippi. He understood that whichever way they looked determined their next actions and accomplishments. So if they lived in the past, they were done accomplishing anything for the Lord. Now, your desire should be that God does more through you no matter what stage of life you're in, despite what you have accomplished in your past. The world is not getting any better, my friend. And with believers living, as long as we live in past accomplishments, we'll never make this world better. It only gets better if we reach forth and attempt greater accomplishments for God that's beyond our reach. Now, this only happens if we're going to reach. We've got to reach. Now, there's 4 reaches you should have if God's going to do something great in your life. First, you need a proper perspective reach. Paul commanded to forget those things which are behind. So living in past accomplishments is a sure way to have no accomplishment today. Nobody really cares about what you did yesterday. They truly want to know what you're doing right now. Now, you're a has-been. I hate to say it that way, but you're a has-been of all you could talk about is what you used to do for God. God's not interested in what we did in the past. He's interested in what we're doing right now. Your perspective should be a forward perspective and not a backward one. Second, you need a faith reach. To reach means it takes faith because it's beyond your capabilities. So are you reaching beyond your abilities, or are you only doing those things that make you feel comfortable? Someone needs to light a fire underneath you to get you to attempt something great. My friend, somewhere you have to have a faith reach. If you're not attempting anything for God that's beyond your reach, you only please God by having a faith reach. Too many churches are very comfortable with not doing anything big. Well, we're just holding out for God. You know, we got to love God. Let me tell you, love God. Get a faith reach. Because don't tell me how much you love God and you're not attempting great things for God. If you truly love God, you'll put God to the test as he tells us to do by having a life of faith. Third, you need a direction reach. So the mark you are reaching for should have no compromise involved with it. So if you have to change what you believe to accomplish what you're reaching for, you have a wrong directional reach. don't feel you must compromise beliefs to reach something greater for God. God is still in the miracle working business, and he will not work his mighty power through those who have compromised the faith. You keep your reach directionally right. Attempt great things for God by standing for right. It takes more of God's power to do the miraculous by being directionally right than it ever does by turning your direction and compromising to get there, because that doesn't take God's power. Compromise takes no faith. It takes a quitter to stop doing things God's way for the easy way. Now, fourth, you need a God reach. You need to reach so far that God must step in to rescue you. That's what you need. A God reach keeps you on your knees in prayer, begging God to save you. It's this type of a reach that God likes, because it is this reach that gets him involved in your life. And this reach is where you'll see the greatest miracles of God in your life. Sadly, I'm afraid too many Christians don't have, God's not really involved in their life. Now, don't get me wrong. God's with them. They're saved. They're on the way to heaven, but he's not involved in their life. There's no reason for him to be involved, because they're doing nothing that requires his power. My friend, we got to reach forward. We've got to have a proper perspective that I'm going forward. I'm going to do this. I want to do something great by faith. I'm not going to compromise to try to get it done. I don't need to compromise, because without compromise, that's what gets God involved. My friend, that's what we need. This old world is dying because we don't have churches that have this type of a reach. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you have this type of reach in your life? Does your church have reach, or are you just coasting through life? And one day you're going to die. You're going to die without a living by faith, and you're going to get to heaven, have no rewards. What a sad commentary that's going to be for a lot of pastors and a lot of people. Now, what you may have done this in the past, but that doesn't help today. We need everybody, no matter what your age is, no matter what your abilities are. We can all reach. Anybody can reach. It just depends how much, because reaching means I want to go beyond what I can do. Takes God. Whatever I might be able to do more than others, and others might be able to do more than me, but that's not the point. The point is I've got to reach beyond my ability. Get God involved. And when God gets involved, my friend, you're going to see God start doing the miraculous in your life and in your ministry. I hope this is a great help to you today. Now, let's remember today, be good to everyone. Everyone's having a tough time. Have a great day, my friend.